Grand Rising, my kings and queens. It's your girl, Mel B, live on the Lux Radio Network. It's Tuesday, December 16th, and yesterday was for planning, but today is for precision. Momentum is your greatest asset this morning, so keep your eyes on the high-impact tasks and let the small wins fuel your fire. You've got the rhythm, now let's amplify it. All right, on to our affirmation of the day. And I read, I choose progress over perfection and consistent action over hesitation. Tuesday is often when Monday adrenaline wears off. This affirmation is designed to stop the paralysis of overthinking. By focusing on the progress, you allow yourself freedom to move forward quickly, knowing that small, consistent steps lead to massive results. All right, on to our word of the day is assiduous. It means showing great care, attention, and effort, marked by careful, unremitting attention or persistent application. Tuesday is for the grind. Be assiduous ensures that the momentum you built on Monday is applied with precision and quality. All right, on to our phrase origin of the day. Today's phrase is keep your nose to the grindstone. This is a reference to the days when workers manually sharpened tools like knives, axes, or sieves by pressing them against a large rotating grinding stone. To apply maximum pressure and focus on the work, the craftsmen had to lean in so close that their nose was almost touching the stone. All right, on to our headline news in our favorite cities around the globe. New York, national economic debates and Broadway's resilience dominate coverage, reflecting the city's dual role as financial and cultural capital. Los Angeles, Hollywood mourns filmmaker Rob Reiner and wife Michelle Singer today, found unalived in Brentwood, sparking debates across the industry. Chicago, downtown protests continue with anti-genocide devisement, rallies and New Year's Eve planning shaping civic discourse. In other words, they're down there protesting, but they're also planning for New Year's Eve. In Atlanta, Mayor Andre Dickens appoints a new city attorney. Coca-Cola confirms Henrik Braun will succeed James Quincy as CEO in 2026. Houston, Harris County's pay equity study sparks debate, while Houston Botanic Garden unveils the Radiant Nature Cultural Showcase. Washington, D.C. Congressional report alleges D.C. police chief manipulated crime statistics, intensifying scrutiny of governance. In Miami, Commissioner Joe Corrello resigns. Outgoing Mayor Francis Suarez attends his final meeting, marking a political transition. Tampa, Governor DeSantis appoints Bobby Payne to the Utilities Board, and USF confirms Moaz Lemanim as next president. Newport Richey. Morning, Dad. Community spotlight on $2 Tuesday downtown event, boosting local economic and cultural activity. $2 Tuesday, huh? All right, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The trial of Judge Hannah Dugan enters day 2, highlighting judiciary clash with Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Canada, Vancouver. BC conservative leader Ron Rustad ousted amid political turmoil following pipeline and energy debates. In Toronto, the University of Toronto launches a $10 million EV innovation partnership. Queens and Bell announce AI supercomputing facility. Bless up, Jamaica. Kingston, government and private sector dispute roofing materials to Hurricane Melissa victims in St. Elizabeth, restoring shelter. Montego Bay, Chamber of Commerce emerges domestic tourism aid recovery. Hotel delay reopenings until late 2026, sparking worker crisis. Ocho Rios. Cruise ports reopen post-Hurricane Melissa, welcoming ships like Resilient Lady and Mean Shift 1. Negril. Sandals and beaches resorts fully operational. Minister Bartlett confirms official reopening today with new investments. Cayman Islands. Parliament passes major immigration reform bill, renaming it the Caymanian Protection Act. Residency requirement raised to 20 years. Bahamas. Royal Caribbean opens Paradise Island Beach Club, employing 500 Bahamians. IMF urges stronger governance of PPPs. Nigeria. Tinubu honors Buhari's legacy at biography launch. Supreme Court rulings on Rivers emergency power sparks PDP alarm, and inflation drops to 14.45%. Ghana. Fuel prices set to decline at the pumps, and Ofuhu Osei Tutu II submits Baku mediation report to President Mahama. All right, on to our weather for these same cities. Starting with New York, cold and partly cloudy, highs in the low 40s and lows near freezing. Oof. Los Angeles, mild and sunny, highs around 68, lows near 52. Chicago, chilly with scattered clouds, highs around 68, highs around mid-30s, lows around mid-20s. Atlanta, cool and clear, highs near 55, lows around 40. Houston, mild with partly sunny skies, highs near 65, lows around 50. Washington, D.C., cold but mostly clear, highs in the low 40s and lows tonight near 30. Miami, warm and humid, highs near 80, lows around 70. Tampa, warm with scattered clouds, highs near 78 and lows around 68. Newport Richey, similar to Tampa, with highs in the near 78 and low around 68. Milwaukee, cold and cloudy, highs in the low 30s and the low is in the 20s. Vancouver, cool and damp, highs near 45, low around 38. Toronto, cold and partly cloudy, high near 35, low around 28. Kingston, warm and humid, high around 86, low 76, with a slight chance of showers. Montego Bay, high of 85 and low around 75. Ocho Rios, warm with scattered showers, high near 85, low at 75. Negril, light rain showers expected during the day with a high of 85 and a low around 75. Cayman Islands, light rain showers with a high of 82 and a low of 78. Bahamas, light rain showers with a high near 75 and a low around 70. And Nigeria, clear and sunny skies, high around 96 and low around 68. And Ghana, mostly sunny with a high of 90 and a low of 78. All right, on to our sports for today. And in the NFL, we have on Monday Night Football, we had the Steelers over the Dolphins 28-15. In the NBA final scores, we had the Pistons over the Celtics 112-105, the Raptors over the Heat 106-96, the Jazz over the Mavericks 140-133 in overtime, the Nuggets over the Rockets 128-125 in overtime, and the Grizzlies over the Clippers 121-103. Today in the NBA marks the NBA Cup midseason tournament with the Spurs versus the Knicks. They will be at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. Tip-off is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime. All right, today's daily feature, of course, is Tuesday. Tell me something good Tuesday. And the spotlight today is the science of gratitude, the broaden and build theory. Today, we're not just looking for something good to feel nice about. We're doing it for the scientifically proven boost in performance. The concept is called broaden and build theory, developed by psychologist Barbara Fredrickson. It explains how positive emotions, like finding something good, don't feel pleasant. They are essential for your personal and professional growth, these emotions. When you feel a negative emotion, stress, fear, or frustration, your mind naturally narrows your focus to deal with the threat. It's the fight or flight response. But when you feel positive emotions, your mind broadens. It opens you up to new ideas, solutions, and a wider array of possibilities. Over time, this repeated mental broadening helps you build sustainable personal resources. It improves your cognitive agility, strengthens your social relationships, and boosts your overall resilience. It makes you a better problem solver. So today, your challenge would be, don't just observe the good news. Intentionally pause and allow yourself to truly feel the positive emotion from it. Use that moment of gratitude, the mental broadening, as the fuel for the precision and momentum you need to execute your task today. So let the good build your greatness. All right, on to our book club, where we're reading the 38 Laws of Human Nature. Today is the law of gender rigidity. All right, the law states, reconnect to the masculine or feminine within you. Every human possesses both masculine, active, aggressive, confident, and rational, and feminine, receptive, empathetic, intuitive, and subtle qualities. When we repress one side due to social pressure or personal insecurity, we become rigid, unbalanced, and ineffective. Rigid people try to overcompensate for their fears of seeming weak or uncommitted by adopting a hyper masculine or overly aggressive or hyper feminine, overly passive persona. This stiffness prevents them from adjusting and adapting to certain circumstances, leading to poor judgment and unnecessary conflict. So in business, learn to call upon the appropriate energy for the task. Use your masculine energy, confidence, and assertion for negotiations and strategic settings. Use your feminine energy, your empathy and receptivity for team building, conflict resolutions, and understanding client needs. This balance makes you a complete leader. In life, notice when you are always rushing to assert control, meaning too masculine, or always avoiding confrontation, too feminine. Engage in an activity that taps the neglected side. For instance, if you are hyper rational, try free form creative writing. Or if you are hyper receptive, take charge of a challenging home project. So today, embrace the full spectrum of your human qualities. Your greatest power comes from not from suppressing one half of yourself, but from leveraging the subtle genius in both sides. All right, on to our cause of today. Our cause of the day today is breast cancer. Breast cancer is a disease in which cells in the breast grow out of control. It typically starts either in the lobules, which are the milk-producing glands, or the ducts, passageways that carry milk for the nipples. It is the second most common cancer among women globally, though it can also affect men. Symptoms: the most common symptom is a new lump or mass in the breast or underarm. Other signs include changes in the size or shape of the breast, skin irritation, thickening of the nipple area or breast skin, and nipple discharge other than breast milk. So prevention, screenings, routine mammograms starting at the age of 40 to 50 based on your risk and family history. Your lifestyle, limit alcohol, maintain a healthy weight, be physically active, and where possible, breastfeed. And 3, genetic testing for those with a strong family history or known gene mutations. So treatment for breast cancer um, is highly individualized and depends on the cancer stage and type. For instance, options include surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, hormone therapy, and targeted drug therapies. So resources and to find more information regarding breast cancer, of course, would be to consult your doctor. There's also the Susan G. Komen Foundation and the American Cancer Society. And they're both primarily online sources for education, patient support, and research funding. All right, on to our Today in History, December 16th. In 1773, the Boston Tea Party. As a political protest against taxation without representation, a group of American colonists known as the Sons of Liberty boarded 3 ships in the Boston harbor and dumped 342 chests of British tea into the water. This act of defiance was a direct response to the Tea Act of 1773 and was a major catalyst that escalated the tensions leading to the American Revolutionary War. In 1944, we have the Battle of the Bulge begins. During World War II, German forces launched a massive surprise counteroffensive through the heavily forested Ardennes region of Belgium and Luxembourg, attempting to break the Allied lines. The attack created a large bulge in the American front, leading to one of the most significant and costliest battles for the U.S. Army. The Allies eventually repelled the attack, but not before suffering severe casualties. And in 1969, the British House of Commons abolishes the death penalty. The British Parliament voted 343 to 185 to make the 1965 abolition of the death penalty for murder permanent. The capital punishment had been suspended 5 years earlier for a trial period, but the vote on this date ended the practice entirely for murder in Great Britain, reflecting a significant shift in criminal justice psychology toward rehabilitation and away from irreversible retribution. All right, on to the African American history for today. In 1859, the Colted lands in Mobile Bay. The Colted, believed to be the last known slave ship to illegally transport enslaved Africans to the United States, landed its cargo in Mobile Bay, Alabama. The international slave trade had been illegal since 1808, but the Colted smuggled between 110 and 160 Africans. Fearing arrest, the owners burned the ship and dispersed the captives. Many later settled near Mobile and established Africatown, a community that maintained deep cultural ties to their Western African origin for generations. Next up, in 1950, we have Ralph Bunche wins the Nobel Peace Prize. Ralph Bunche became the first African American to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. A distinguished political scientist and diplomat, he was recognized for his role as the chief United Nations mediator in the 1949 Armistice agreements between Israel and 4 Arab states, effectively ending the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. His achievement marked a major step forward for Black leadership in international diplomacy. And in 1976, Andrew Young was appointed UN ambassador. President Jimmy Carter appointed civil rights veteran and former Congressman Andrew Young as the United States ambassador and chief delegate to the United Nations. Young became the first African American to hold this significant diplomatic post. His appointment was a crucial signal that the U.S. government was integrating civil rights leaders into high-level foreign policy roles. All right, on to African American scientists and inventors. First up, we have Dr. George Carruthers. Dr. George Carruthers was an astrophysicist who invented the far ultraviolet camera, spectrograph, in 1972. This camera was designed, built, and launched by him and was carried to the moon by the Apollo 16 mission. It captured the first ever image of the Earth's far ultraviolet atmosphere and confirmed the presence of hydrogen in space. His work was pivotal in advancing space exploration and UV astronomy. Next up, we have Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson. Dr. Jackson was a theoretical physicist who became the first African American woman to earn her PhD at MIT in any field. Her research on electronic, thermal, and magnetic properties of materials was instrumental in the development of modern telecommunications technologies, including the portable fax machine, caller ID, touch-tone telephones, and the technology behind fiber optic cables. She later served as the chair of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And last, we have von Ars Matzelinger. Matzelinger was an inventor born in Suriname who revolutionized the shoe industry. Before his invention, the process of lasting, attaching the leather upper to the sole, was done painstakingly by hand. Matzelinger invented and patented the automatic shoe lasting machine in 1883, which could turn out 700 pairs of shoes a day, dramatically reducing labor costs and making shoes affordable for the masses. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment. Today, our spotlight is the ring shout. The ring shout originated in the Gullah Geechee communities of the coastal Carolinas and Georgia among enslaved Africans. It is one of the most direct African-derived religious practices to survive the Middle Passage, evolving from West and Central African ritual dances. It is a powerful form of worship that involves participants moving in a circular, shifting motion to avoid crossing their feet, which would constitute traditional dancing and was sometimes forbidden by slaveholders, by clapping and singing spirituals. It was a communal, ecstatic, and physically expressive way to connect with the divine, mourn losses, and share spiritual strength, performed often in praise houses. The role in African American society today, the ring shout is recognized as a fundamental form of African American expressive culture. It served as a spiritual release and a crucial cultural anchor for enslaved people, demonstrating the impossibility of fully eradicating African tradition and establishing the call to response and rhythmic syncopation that defines Black music. Its musical structure, the syncopated rhythm, counterclockwise movement, and call and response is a direct ancestor to American music forms, including gospel, jazz, and eventually modern R&B and hip hop. The ring shout reminds us that resilience can be found in shared rhythm and collective spiritual expression. Find your rhythm and connect deeply within your community. All right, on to our fact or fiction, with our topic being the 5-second rule or 2-second rule for food safety. This popular urban legend suggests that food dropped on the floor or the ground is safe to eat as long as it is retrieved within a very short window of time, usually 3 to 5 seconds. The theory is that bacteria need more time than that to transfer from the surface to the food. Fiction, and might I add, ill. Scientific studies, notably one from Rutgers University, have continuously demonstrated that the transfer of bacteria, Salmonella or E. coli, form a surface on the food that can happen instantaneously in less than 1 second. Factors like the food's moisture, wet food transfers bacteria faster than dry food, and the surface type, tile and wood transfer bacteria more readily than carpet, are more relevant than the time limit. If a surface has dangerous bacteria, that bacteria will transfer immediately. So when in doubt, throw it out. Science has confirmed that bacteria don't check their watch before jumping onto your food. Your health is more important than 5 seconds. And if you don't believe me, you can always go to the CDC and it will actually say it on there as well. All right, on to our what's the word for today. Our spotlight is the quiet quitter, redefining work-life balance. The term quiet quitting went viral after 2022 TikTok video defined it as not quitting a job, but as refusing to do work outside of one's specified duties or work hours. It means sticking strictly to the requirements of the job description, rejecting the hustle culture mentality of constantly going above and beyond without money or recognition. So the story behind the popularity of this trend. The concept gained traction among younger generations who felt exploited by the blurring of work-life balances and boundaries during the pandemic, and those frustrated by stagnant wages despite increased productivity. It became a powerful, concise term for an employee philosophy focused on mental health, personal boundaries, and valuing life outside of work, a direct challenge to decades of corporate pressure for always being available. So, while criticized by some employers as laziness, the concept has spurred global debates about employee engagement, burnout, and the true meaning of loyalty in the modern workplace. So, quiet quitting isn't about leaving your job, it's about claiming your life. Today, honor your boundaries and ensure your efforts match your compensation. Yeah, because employers have a real bad habit of saying, oh, I need you to do this and do that, adding more duties onto you. And then if you complain and say, well, that's not in my job description, and they'll always say it's under other duties as assigned. That's how they get you. All right, on to our tech tip of the day, which is enhancing focus with the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a time management method that breaks work into intervals, typically 25 minutes long, separated by short breaks. Use a digital timer app, many are available for free on all the platforms, to strictly enforce these intervals. During a 25-minute Pomodoro, commit to only working on the assigned task with zero distractions. This structured approach prevents burnout and makes large projects feel less intimidating. The frequent 5-minute breaks provide crucial mental rest, allowing your brain to consolidate information and prevent attention fatigue. This is more effective than trying to power through hours of work without stopping. So, choose one high priority task. Set your timer for 25 minutes. Work. When the timer rings, take a mandatory 5-minute break. Stand up, stretch, go get some coffee. And after four Pomodoros, take a longer 15 to 30-minute break. So productivity is about cycles, not straight lines. Use the Pomodoro technique today to structure your focus and turn intense work into manageable sprints. So also another example is like if I'm writing, I'll write for like 30 minutes and then I'll stop. So that way, whatever I just wrote, or even if I'm reading, I'll read or write for 30 minutes and then I'll take like a 5-minute break, just so that everything that I've learned or written down sinks in so I can continue on with understanding, if that helped. All right, on to our finance tip of the day is saving between 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. I keep repeating this because we are around the holidays, and I know a lot of people are spending money that they might not have, going into savings and things like that. So I want everyone to keep in mind to always make sure that you have at least 3 months of expenses, especially in this, I'll just say, with who runs the government right now, we never know what's going to happen. So the crucial first step in personal finance is building an emergency fund to cover unforeseen events like job loss, major medical expenses, or necessary car repairs. The goal is to save enough cash to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses like rent, minimum debt payments, food, utilities, and insurance. An e-fund or emergency fund prevents debt accumulation. Without it, a sudden $5,000 crisis would likely force you to put the charge on a high interest credit card, adding potentially thousands in interest. The e-fund acts as insurance against high interest consumer debt. Financial experts universally agree that 3 to 6 months range is a safe benchmark, but those with less stable income may need closer to 9 to 12 months. This money should be kept in a high yield savings account for easy access and modest growth. Your emergency fund is your financial firewall. So calculate your essential monthly needs and make a plan to fund your safety net today. All right, our fun fact of the day is there are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Scientists estimate that there are over 3 trillion trees on our planet, while the number of stars in our galaxy is estimated to be between 100 billion and 400 billion. All right, our fun holiday of today is it's National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. This holiday encourages you to put a layer of sweet, decadent chocolate on, well, everything, from the traditional strawberries, pretzels, and nuts to the more adventurous bacon, potato chips, and pickles. Ew. Today is a perfect excuse to indulge your sweet tooth and get creative in the kitchen. Chocolate covered pickle, though? Ew. All right, on to our daily quote. Our quote today is, and I quote, do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make the iron hot by striking. This comes from William Butler Yeats, an acclaimed Irish poet and one of the most foremost figures of the 20th century literature. This is a quote about proactively versus passivity. It directly challenges the common of waiting for the perfect opportunity or the ideal condition. Yeats suggests that momentum and enthusiasm are created through action, which is by striking, rather than waiting for them to appear. It's a mandate to start the workflow now, creating your own favorable conditions through sheer effort. All right, on to our music and entertainment. Afrobeat takes over global charts. The continuing global dominance of the Afrobeat genre is hitting new milestones, with Nigerian artists currently holding top positions in over 30 countries' music charts. Driven by massive streaming numbers and viral dance challenges on social media, the genre is moving beyond specialized categories. Specifically, Burna Boy's latest collaboration is challenging major pop artists for the coveted Billboard Global 200 top spot, signaling a true mainstream crossover. In celebrity gossip today, we have the public separation between LiAngelo Ball and Rashida Nicole has reached a new peak of drama. Nicole went viral with a scorching response to Ball's alleged court statements that he was forced into their courthouse marriage. She publicly accused him of avoiding responsibility in the relationship and as a father, sharing receipts on social media that suggest much messier ongoing legal and financial battle than initially disclosed. Good morning, Grand Rising, everyone. On to our celebrity birthdays. We have one of these. This guy is a great singer to me because I love the group Boyz II Men. Michael McCary. He is 53 today. He is the group's bass singer, the one with the deep voice. The one I would love to hear talk to me in the morning. Anywho, on to the next one. We have comedian and actor J.A.B. He is 60 today. He is known for the HBO comedy series Curb Your Enthusiasm. And also we have singer Layla Hathaway is 57 today. She is the daughter of American soul singer and musician Donny Hathaway. And I would also like to say rest in heaven to Miss Kim Porter. She would have been 54 today. And I'm going to leave that conversation where it is. Happy birthday, everyone. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Today, our soul food recipe is some good old collard greens and smoked turkey. Need I say more? No description needed. And our beverage of the day is turmeric gingerade. Now, this is blend or juice fresh ginger and turmeric root mixed with lemon juice and a light sweetener of honey or maple syrup and topped with cold sparkling water. Okay. It says that the spices contain potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds. So in other words, it's good for you. All right, man. You already know what I'm going to say. Did you make your appointment yet? It's almost the end of the year. We need to get those annual physicals in. All right. And also commit to daily hip flexor and hamstring stretches. So when you guys go to the gym, make sure you're stretching. Dedicate about 10 minutes to deep stretches to restore pelvic alignment, reduce chronic back pain, and improve overall flexibility and posture. All right, women, it is understand and track your cycle's impact on mood. Hormonal fluctuations significantly, slow down, Mel, impact mental health. Use a monthly tracking app to note not just your cycle days, but also your mood, energy, and sleep patterns. Recognizing these patterns help normalize mood shifts and allows you to plan self-care around predictable hormonal peaks and valleys. Because we know we have those peaks and valleys, boy. All right, on to our relationship advice for couples. Take a 15-minute daily debrief. Prevent small issues from escalating by scheduling a mandatory 15-minute debrief each evening with no phones. Use this time to share the one positive thing that happened and one thing that is causing you stress. This consistent check-in creates psychological safety and ensures you are both aware of the other's mental load. Ain't no guessing, no saying this is wrong with me or that is wrong with me out of frustration. Just take that 15 minutes and chill and talk. All right, and friendships, define your friends' roles and needs. Not all friends must serve all needs. Recognize the different roles your friends play. For example, you have the accountability partner, the fun escapist, and the empathetic listener. I want to also add that 3 a.m. Ride or die situation friend. We all got to have one of those. Appreciate each friend for their specific value they bring, rather than expecting one person to meet every emotional need. This reduces pressures and strengthens unique bonds. And in family, use I statements to own your feelings. When discussing difficult topics with family, avoid accusatory language. Use I statements. Instead of saying, you never call me, say, I feel disconnected when we go 3 weeks without talking. This takes focus off assigning blame and clearly communicate your emotional need, making the other person feel less defensive. Okay, well, I need some money. How about that one? All right, on to our household chore of the day is the one bag a day declutter habit. Tackle accumulated clutter by committing to the one bag a day rule. Spend 10 minutes walking through your house with a small bag and filling it with items to trash, recycle, or donate, like old mail, broken gadgets, ill fitting clothes. This prevents overwhelming clutter buildup and makes weekly cleaning faster and easier. All right, on to our daily horoscopes, which we always consistently start with the lovely Aries. Aries, you might feel a tension between your career ambitions and your home life. Responsibilities at home demand your attention, possibly requiring a difficult conversation with a family member or partner about balance. Clear communication is essential to prevent a minor disagreement from escalating. Your lucky numbers today are 9, 14, and 31. Taurus, a mental or short distance journey could bring unexpected clarity regarding a long term goal. Communication flows easily, especially in writing or teaching. This is a good day to sign a contract or pitch a new idea. Avoid spreading yourself too thin and focus on one key message. Your lucky numbers today are 5, 23, and 40. Gemini, financial matters come into sharp focus, possibly concerning shared assets, debt, or an unexpected payment. Trust your practical judgment when reviewing joint accounts. In your daily routine, choose focus over multitasking, as shattered efforts will yield low results. Your lucky numbers for today are 1, 10, and 20. Cancer, your creative energy is strong, benefiting projects that involve nurturing or planning. Take time for play and connect with your inner child today. In relationships, be aware that you might feel overly sensitive. Try to see things from your partner's point of view before reacting. Lucky numbers for you today are 2, 11, and 29. Leo, a focus on organization and health continues. Today is your creating efficient systems in your daily workplace and starting a new diet or fitness plan. Uh-oh. Pay attention to your body's signals. It needs consistency now, not extremes. Quiet efforts leads to negotiable results. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 12, and 33. 33. Virgo, your charm and social energy are potent. This is a great day for romance, creative brainstorming, and connecting with friends. You feel encouraged to speak up and share your unique point of view. A casual conversation could lead to a valuable professional or creative insight. Your lucky numbers today are 3, 15, and 27. Libra, inner peace is found by simplifying your environment. Tackle one major home organization project today. Financial harmony improves when you check on shared expenditures and ensure all budgets are aligned. Avoid passive aggressive communication and state your needs directly. 5, 24, and 44 are your lucky numbers. Scorpio, you are feeling emotionally intense, but this intensity translates into powerful focus. Use this energy to make concrete progress on a long-term goal. Networking or connecting with siblings brings supportive energy. Your words can carry weight, so use them to encourage others. Your lucky numbers today are 7, 13, and 19. Sagittarius, your values and self-worth are tied tightly to your financial decisions. You might need to drop a minor expectation or plan for budgeting reasons, which feels frustrating but ultimately necessary. Adjusting your spending habits will now lead to a major financial reset in January. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 18, and 32. Capricorn, your determination is unwavering. You have a stamina to push through difficult organizational tasks today, particularly those that build a long-term legacy. Trust your instincts and rely on secure, trustworthy allies. Personal satisfaction comes from seeing tangible progress. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 16, and 26. Aquarius, Rest and reflection are key to avoiding mental burnout. If you feel overwhelmed, step back and pause. Avoid initiating arguments or defending your truth excessively. Quiet confidence is your strongest tool. Unseen work today leads to clear direction and less stress later in the week. Your lucky numbers today are 11, 21, and 37. And Pisces, your humanitarian side is activated, leading you to connect with friends, groups, or causes. Focus on your biggest, most expansive hopes and dreams. A team effort is essential for achieving them. Don't let a small hiccup in travel or scheduling dampen the spirit of an enjoyable event. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 17, and 35. All right, on tomorrow's show, on Wednesday's show, get ready for a deep dive into the Yoruba spiritual shrines in our Back to the Roots segment. We'll discuss the ethics of AI in creative fields in the word, and our health tip for men and women will focus on the power of deep sleep and iron levels. At this time, I would like to say thank you to our sponsors. First up, Bello Burn Hot Sauce. Turn up the flavor, feel the burn. Bello Burn brings heat to every bite. Next, RAS Herbals, rooted in tradition, powered by nature. RAS Herbals keeps wellness pure and strong. And Calorane Candles, light the moment, lift the mood. Calorane Candles glow with soul. And Universal Madness, style without limits. Universal Madness makes the streets your runway. All right, on to our announcements for the day. Our Christmas concert will be on December 23rd at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Lux Radio. And also remember to watch Kickback with Cookie tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Lux Radio Network. All right, you successfully conquered Monday, so thank you for sharing your Tuesday morning with me. Until tomorrow, my kings and queens, this is your girl Mel B, of course, saying stay fly, stay fierce, and stay grounded. And don't let nobody dim your shine. Period.